The latest set of headphones from Plantronics are largely aimed at the same type of user. So if you're an active person and you like to run or go to the gym or something like that, you just basically like to break a sweat, these headphones are made largely for you. And the reason for that is because they all offer sweat resistance. I'm going to go to each one separately, but we're going to start with the Backbeat Pro 5100. So these are the true wireless earbuds that Plantronics has. There is another pair we're going to get to just after this. And these are also the smallest. So even though this is a category that is largely expanded and a lot of companies are making different ones, this is the first time Plantronics has made one that is this small. So they aren't the smallest on the market, but they are pretty comfortable. And for the most part, they sound good. But there's a big caveat here. And for me, the big one was that there wasn't enough passive noise isolation. So if you've worn something like this in the past, you'll know that the larger the tip, the easier it is to seal the outside noise, which is important because that way you're getting more of the bass out of the music that you're listening to. As is with these, I never got a fit, no matter what size I was wearing, that sealed out outside sound completely. So as a result, I had to raise the volume a lot. And the volume issue was something that I noticed throughout all three products. And I don't know why, but for some reason the default volume is just not that loud. So I needed to go loud fairly often. And I especially did with these because I never had that passive, never quite had that seal there. It's a shame because there's an awareness mode that actually electronically uses the microphones to let ambient sound in. So if you're going to talk to someone, you don't have to actually take the earpiece out. One thing I will say about them is that they are comfortable. So when it comes to putting them on, I mean, there's no issue there. Wearing them for a while is not an issue, and especially if you're going to the gym or you're going for a run or something like that, you probably will find that they, for the most part, they stay in place. Yeah, they can get a little sweaty and they will slide a little bit, so you may need to adjust, but there's actually a separate pair in case that's an issue for you, which I'm going to get to in a second. Battery life is rated at 6.5 hours. I think between 4 and 5 is probably more realistic, especially if you're going to be raising the volume a little more often. So, but the case is fairly small. It's not the smallest, but it's fairly small. These are easy to take with you wherever it is you're going. But I don't know that there's a killer feature here or a killer performance that would make them stand out from everybody else. So I think you're largely looking to get these if you're very active and you don't want to worry too much about damage from sweat. So I'm going to move on from these two, and then I'm going to go on next to the Plantronics BackBeat Fit 3200. Now these are interesting because these are very different to some degree, in a very specific degree, from their predecessors. The 3100 had a very fixed design as far as the opening where basically where the sound is coming out of in your ear. These are actually adjustable. So these come with adjustable ear tips, gel tips here that you can attach. So small, medium, large. And the big thing, of course, with these is that they have the ear hooks. So when you're putting these on, the idea is that they're not going to move very much. And the truth is that they don't. I mean, once you put them in, they don't move much at all. Of course, that does make them bigger and a little bit bulkier than a true wireless design like the 5100s, but these here are, I think, are ideal, especially if you're a runner. If you're a runner and you're moving around a lot, or you're doing a workout that requires a lot of movement, maybe a lot of sweat, whatever it is, cycling, running, even if it's like you're doing like a power walk or something like that, and you are very concerned about whether or not they're going to stay in place, and you don't want to keep adjusting, that's why these are where they are. That's why Plantronics made these. The thing that they did right this time, in my opinion, is that they made the ear tips adjustable, which means that the sound actually isolates better. So the problem I had with 3100s were that because you couldn't really adjust the size, the ambient sound that was coming in passively was just, you couldn't really control it. Now you can because of the size difference in terms of the tips. The bass is far better on this as a result, so not only are you getting a better fit and a more comfortable and snugger fit, you're also getting better sound quality. So definitely Plantronics did a much better job with these. Battery life's okay. You'll probably get about 5 hours, I would say, give or take where you're at in volume. Don't take them swimming. So yes, there is some water resistance, but it's more for rain, splashes of water, things like that. These are not necessarily meant to be something you wear when you're swimming, so I wouldn't advise that. And last but not least are the Backbeat Fit 6100. So these are the over-ear headphones, and these are, again, a similar idea. So the idea is, comfy fit, relatively, I mean, this is a fairly, pretty sturdy headband. Rugged design to some degree as well, and something that can withstand a lot of workouts. So you can sweat in these, and there's even a little bit of water resistance. Again, not made for anything waterborne, so like don't take it to a pool or a tub or something like that. That's not really what they're made for. It's more so for rain or splashes of water, things like that, if you're going to use these for any outdoor activities where you're kind of caught in the elements. As far as the fit goes, they're quite comfortable for over-ear headphones. I've found them fairly snug. One of the things that's interesting about the fit is that there's this cord that has a couple latches you can latch onto to tighten it beyond what the headband can tighten to on its own. I never really used it to that degree, but I can understand why some people would. So for example, if you're in the gym and you're doing some workouts, especially ones where you're on your back, the headphones would have a tendency maybe to slide off. So that cord with the latches is partly designed to offset that, so that you have a tight enough fit where you don't have to worry too much about that happening. Not that it wouldn't happen. I mean, everybody's head is different, but even so, that's part of the reason why it's there. Again, in terms of onboard controls, there are touch controls here. I left the sticker on just to kind of show you how it works. So basically, you can skip tracks, you can raise volume, lower volume, play, pause, accept a call, reject a call, things like that. So pretty standard stuff, I would say. The awareness mode that is in the other two headphones that I just mentioned in this review video also have the awareness mode, so that's in there too. If you want to let ambient noise in without turning the headphone, just taking the headphones off, you can do that. If you do take the headphones off while you're listening to music, the music will pause. So there is that feature as well. If you choose to, for whatever reason, you want to take a break or you just need to take them off, any music you're listening to will pause, you put them back on again, and it should continue again. So that's also a convenient, very nice convenient feature as well, but something that's been pretty standard in some headphones to date. Now bear in mind that these are Bluetooth. You won't really be able to use these in any kind of a wired connection. They don't have a headphone jack, so if they run out of battery, you're gonna have to recharge them. That's one thing that you should keep in mind. But other than that, I mean, they last, well, Plantronics rates it at 24 hours. It gets close to that. I routinely got at least 20. Depending on volume level, that's really the major factor as to how long they're gonna last. If you can stick to close to 50% volume, you will get to 24 hours. I've tested it, it is true. So they will last a fairly long time per charge. And if you're charging them regularly, kind of topping up the battery when you get the chance, these things will almost never run out of battery life. So that's a good thing. Now, as far as the sound goes, they're not exceptional. They do sound very good, definitely better than you might expect, but not anything that I would say was, truly revolutionary or, stunning in any particular way. For gym goers, anybody, if you're active or you're just looking for a pair of headphones that's got some ruggedness to them and sound pretty good, the Backbeat Fit 6100, is is going to be fairly ideal for that. Although there's some stiff competition in that arena as well. If you're an active person and you're looking for something that's got some ruggedness to it, and you don't really want to worry too much about a pair of headphones that you're going to use specifically for that reason, then yeah, you probably can't go wrong with any of these three. It just depends on what kind of form factor you're looking for. Out of the three, I think the 3200 are arguably the most appealing for that particular reason, because they won't fall out. They'll pretty much stay in place where they are. You get the same sweat resistance, awareness mode, so you get the tech features, you get the ruggedness at the same time. So you're getting kind of what the other two have, but you're getting in a different form factor that I think will work for anything to do with activity. So whether you're a runner or you're a cyclist or you're just working out at the gym and you just don't want to be fiddling with these things, that's probably one way to go, as long as you're okay with the ear hooks and the fact that they're not the smallest design. And that's my review of the latest trio of Plantronics headphones. For the Best Buy blog, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.